Thank you for listening to another edition of MAEG Radio. I am your host, Nicholas Zimmerman, a.k.a. the Honorable Black Entrepreneur. Today's date is July 19th, 2024. Time is approximately 2 p.m. and location is Great Meadow Correction Facility in New York State. This recording is in relation to a recording I did yesterday regarding the prison closures. I have some updates for everyone, so here is the latest information I have about the closures in Great Meadow Correction Facility and Sullivan Correction Facilities. Let me start off by saying this first before I get into the updates. I want everyone to know that I'm very surprised that the jails that Hochul and Commissioner Marticello are closing is Great Meadow and Sullivan. I'm surprised they went with those jails first. As everyone knows, in the advocacy field, the prisoners' rights advocacy field, Auburn Correction Facility is probably at the top of the list of New York State's worst jails. Second in line is Attica. Attica used to be first in line, but once the cameras came into the prisons a few years ago, Attica couldn't get away with what they was doing there, so it kind of slowed down. And now Auburn is probably ranking at the top of the list as the worst jail in New York State, with Attica following second. Just to give some updates about Auburn, as far as how bad it is, I did spend some time there. In order to take a shower in Auburn Correction Facility, as far as the prisoners are concerned, they have to walk through the main yard of the correction facility. I would approximate that is about maybe a mile walk, maybe a little bit shorter than a mile, or maybe exactly a mile, but it's definitely somewhere around a mile. And just imagine walking through that yard when it's 30 degrees outside, 20 degrees outside, or maybe 0 degrees outside, and you have to walk there, take a shower, and then walk back. That's how serious it is, and that's how terrible of a jail that is. They do have showers on the company where you don't have to go outside, on each individual company, but of course the superintendent of that jail and all superintendents before that superintendent will not allow us to use the showers inside the facility. So again, in order to take a shower, you got to walk through the freezing cold to take a shower and come back. And as you can imagine, a lot of people don't shower in that jail. They wash up in their buckets. Some people don't wash up at all, so you can imagine the smell in that jail. Also, the construction in that jail, that facility is literally falling apart. There's several cells in that jail where you could stick your finger through the wall. I could be in one cell, I'll stick my finger through the wall, and my finger will come out in the next cell. That's how bad the cement job there is in that facility. And everyone knows it. This is no secret. As far as the rodents and the rats and the roaches, it's completely infested. The showers inside the facility are horrendous. They're so dirty and so filthy and so outdated. No one even wants to use those showers. I could go on and on and on about the history of Auburn, but it's definitely one of the worst jails, and I just figured that would be the jail she would target, along with Attica Correction Facility. They're actually closing Sullivan, which is an honor jail, and which is considered one of the best jails in the state of New York, the best prisons in the state of New York. And as far as Great Meadow Correction Facility, as you guys already know, I don't have too many good things to say about the staff that work at the facility, but the facility itself, the way it's built, as far as the classrooms, the college programs, the mess hall, things like that, this is a pretty decent facility. And for them to be closing this one kind of makes no sense. There's a really good school program here and college program. The classrooms are really, really big, almost built like a real school on the outside. Lots of books, lots of computers, stuff like that. It's just the staff, the people the administration that run the jail and the correction officers that run the jail, which makes this jail really, really bad. But the way it is built and the privileges that's here and the academic privileges as well is really good at this jail. Okay, so let's move on to some updates that I have regarding what's going on. Initially, I was going to report that there was no real retaliation today. The most retaliation we've seen is just that the officers are trying to slow the jail down, which is common. This is a common tactic that the officers use whenever something is not going their way, say for instance an officer gets arrested for something or someone gets locked out of the jail or they decide to discipline an officer, all the officers will stick together and slow the process of the entire jail down by running the chow or the lunch run really, really late, running the recreation run really, really late, running the programs, school programs and college programs really, really late, maybe an hour or 2 hours late. As long as I've been in prison, I don't see how this is an effective strategy in helping them bring about their change, but they do it. I don't see what they get out of it, but they do it in any event. So this is what they're doing right now. They've been running the child this morning an hour late. They ran the recreation pretty much on time at 1:30. There was absolutely no programs today at all, no college programs, no school programs, and I'll get to the reason for that in a second. So that was my initial report, but later on today, this is what I found out in addition to that. What I'm being told is that Albany is inside of the jail and that they're taking an inventory of every single thing in the jail so that the officers do not steal the stuff when they leave and that the administration and the superintendents and the deputies do not steal the stuff when they leave. So what I mean is they're taking inventory of the TVs, how many TVs are here, how many digital players are here, all the way down to the toothpaste, the soap, tissue. That's what I'm hearing from the guys that work in the mess hall. There's a large team from Albany walking around, and they're taking an inventory of every single thing in here so that nothing goes missing. Another thing I want to bring to you guys' attention from the guys that work in mess hall, right now they're making them give out open sugar. Usually we get our sugar in the small sugar packs. You get up to 6 to 10 sugars per mess hall run. Right now they're making them give out open sugar, and they're giving out 2 scoops of sugar, and it's like 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is the type of retaliation that they're doing. I know that's a small thing, but what's concerning me is that the reporting coming back to me saying that a bird took a shit in the sugar, and they're giving out this sugar to everyone in the population. The guys that work in the mess hall is confirming this to me. They said they complained to the officers that they're not going to give out that sugar, and the officers told them either they give out that sugar or they're going to go to the box, to the RRU, that they're going to set them up with a ticket or whatever like that. So this is the type of small retaliation that we're going through at this time. No other retaliation has been reported to me, but this is what's going on right now. Other prisoners told me that when they ran the mess hall run earlier today, they did not use the metal detectors. Usually we go through metal detectors to make sure when they're carrying their weapons into the mess hall, which is a high concentration of prisoners in the mess hall. Today they did not do that, and prisoners are attributing that to they want something to happen in terms of violence to justify what's going on with the closing of the jails. Here's another update besides that. Rumor is, this is completely a rumor. I haven't verified it, but rumor is yesterday when the announcement is made that the jails was closing, all of the counselors walked out of the jail. All of the counselors and teachers, they just walked off their position and left the jail. Again, I cannot verify that myself, but a couple of prisoners told me that's what happened. I could imagine that it is true because today there was no school programs, no counselors was here, no college programs, nothing like that. No, I don't think, as a matter of fact, I don't think any programs ran today. Okay. Let me see what else. There is another rumor going around that they're going to use Great Meadow Correctional Facility for the homeless and for the migrants in New York State. And attached to that rumor is the fact that they're going to take down all of the bars, the cell bars that's in this jail. I believe that's a stretch. I don't see them taking down the jail bars, but I can see them using this jail for the homeless and for the migrants. I had already seen a report on the news where they was using one of the county jails in one of the counties in New York State. They was using, I think, like 2 of the jails in the county for the migrants and for the homeless people. All right. So let me move on to a few other things. We got an update this morning that's a little more believable than anything else, that starting next week, this week coming up Monday, they're going to start